the city. Thanks guys, and that song was from Highway Destruction, available at our shop, and that's my EP. That all the songs that I wrote on that was from my journey in ice addiction, through ice addiction and out again. So it's very dear to my heart. All proceeds go towards helping us educate more kids on the dangers of ice. So it's available at our shop at www.australianantiicecampaign.org.au. Welcome to Let's Talk About Ice, here on this beautiful we're still in summer, evening here on the Gold Coast, and we're drinking from our Neo Cup. Yes, we are. Thank you for joining us, guys. We have Ori on the couch tonight. Thank you for being here, Ori.
Thank you for the opportunity to talk about my past and move through ice addiction.
Ori has an amazing story, and I'm really looking forward to hearing it because it tackles an area that not many people have talked about on our show, and the area that I believe it makes ice different from every other drug. Okay, so we're going to be going into Ori's story, and we're going to be talking about the mental health aspect, and the psychosis and paranoia and what happens in the brain and the mind of somebody that is using it and is addicted to ice. So that's a really important topic here, because a lot of people don't understand, Ori, why their loved ones are behaving in the way that they are, and and most of the time not understanding how dangerous it can be to the person that's under psychosis or going through the mental health psychosis at that time. And we believe here at AIC that education and awareness, really changes everything, because once you can understand what's going on, and you can actually obtain some tools to be able to help. Yeah. So that's why we're having this conversation today, guys. So we're going to go straight into your story, because I'm really keen, and we've flipped things around tonight, guys. So I'll give you a rundown at the end of the show about what's going on with AIC. So we're going to go straight into Ori's story. So, Ori, how old are you?
29, so I turn 30 next month.
Awesome. Yeah. And I mean, you're still really young. And how long were you entrapped in ice addiction?
Roughly about 7 years. So
Wow.
I had a few periods where I was clean for a couple of months, but it was pretty much every day for 7 years, if I could, and pretty high amounts.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you would have been in your early 20s,
Yeah.
So just to go back, as a teenager, were you a drug user?
No, I tried marijuana once when I was 14. Never liked it. I used to drink on the weekends. I was actually against drugs. A few of my mates started trying pills and that, and I used to say, why are you doing that? We have fun as it is. It wasn't until I was about 21, had a break up in a relationship, and then it brought things up from my childhood that I hadn't dealt with properly.
Yep.
And then I started dealing drugs and started getting violent and stuff like that, just drinking and partying.
Yeah.
And a mate, he kind of said that, because I was pretty erratic, character, with me violence and just what I'll do. He suggested a bit of speed might calm me down.
Wow.
So I tried that once, which it wouldn't say it calmed me down, but it made me rethink, and I felt like I could fit in for once rather than just trying to sabotage everything.
Yeah.
I guess that was the only feeling, because it numbed me feelings, so I didn't, it kind of made me rethink in a way. But obviously that was only once off, kind of,
Yep.
Delusion coming after it.
So what was the first drug that at around 21 you said, you went through a breakup and then you thought you'd try it?
Yeah.
First, can I ask, what was the thought process behind that? When somebody offered you, what were you offered to be the first drug, and what were you thinking?
Well, at the time, I was like, that doesn't make sense. And then, I kind of looked back at, because I was drinking, how everything kind of would end in that terms.
Yeah.
And, I seen how, my mate, he would act when he was on it. I would think maybe, it would work like that, stop me being aggressive.
Okay.
and fit in a bit better rather than just go on autopilot when I'm drinking.
Yep.
So initially that first, it did help with that.
Yep.
But only because I was numbing what I was really feeling, not dealing with things.
So did you go straight on to ice? Like, was that the
Yeah.
first drug that you tried?
So yeah, it was speed once and then pretty much ice.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, it was once. And when I tried speed once, it become like every 3 days and then every day slowly after that.
How long did it take you, to start using regularly? Like every 3 days or every day?
Within the month of trying it the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was every
It's
day.
highly addictive, isn't it? And tell me what happened. I mean, 7 years is a long time, so you must have a lot to talk about. Like, you were young. Do you have brothers and sisters?
Yeah, so I got 2 older brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah, one lives in Melbourne, one's up in Mackay.
Yeah.
So with me addiction, like, when I was in Victoria, like, I was dealing, so that got out of hand, and family found out.
Yeah.
So I went up to Mackay. I was clean there for about 3 months, but then fell back into addiction, but nobody really knew.
Yeah.
Like, it was
You're
kind of
hiding
in the cupboard.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then my mental health was deteriorating. Then ended up in the psychiatric ward in Mackay, and like, my family still didn't know. But then I eventually had enough, like, living a lie, because when I'd get so deep, like, how can I put it? When I first tried the drug, it was unnormal. But then once addiction come in, like, it just felt normal being on it, and then when I'd go to get off it, it'd feel unnormal.
Yes.
So it was kind of the opposite. And
So,
then,
sorry to interrupt. What is when you were feeling unnormal when you're trying to get off it? What were some of those feelings? What was happening?
a lot of confusion.
Yep.
Like, couldn't, like, I was overthinking a lot, and I didn't like the emotions that were coming back, I guess.
What kind of emotions were you talking about?
Like a lot of shame
Yeah.
or bitterness.
Yeah.
I guess from things I've done in the past and things I were doing.
Yeah.
And I guess, like, money's not everything, but like, I was working a lot and throwing it all away.
Yeah.
Not really putting anything to the future that I wanted.
Yeah.
So I was just living for the moment.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, like, becoming, like, with all those emotions coming again, I was like, I don't want to feel this, and some of it was from, like, when I was a child or didn't deal with, and then, like, kind of running from problems as well.
And Ori, we often, when we go into classrooms, I know I do, and our presenters do, we talk about, it's normal to have childhood issues.
Yeah.
You get bullying, you want to fit in, you feel awkward. It's a process of finding yourself and working through the issues instead of trying to mask the issues. That is really where it's at. And we encourage the kids. Drugs, specifically ice, but drugs isn't the answer to your problem. That's only going to give you more problems than you ever dreamed about, and there are people out in your community, in your school, call us. I mean, if you have problems that you can't, work through, Headspace, they're great, fantastic like that. They work with youth. Hold on to somebody that can help you through that, and you do overcome those problems, and instead of our society, it seems today that our youth, just want a quick fix, and there is no quick fix. We have to actually walk through the fire, and grow from that and come out the other side and not mask that or try and mask that. What I found was that the problems that come after or through addiction are so massive that you end up with such bigger problems you can't even handle them.
Yeah. That's totally true. Yeah.
So you then started using daily, and that went on for years, and did you get yourself into trouble with law and
Not so much with the law, because I'd just stay at home a lot. Like, I wouldn't really socialise. Like, I had girlfriends through some of the periods, but I was just that confused. I would want to socialise, but I'd go out and kind of get confused of everyone else get paranoid and that, so I'd just stay home and kind of isolate, and then
Yeah.
I'd feel worse for myself, and then it's just like a revolving circle.
Yeah. And every time you're coming down,
Yeah.
it gets more intense, would you say?
Yeah. Well, yeah, using every day, like, until you can't get it or you can't afford it. Like you said, you just, like, masking it more and more, and then it gets worse and worse because you get more depression. And if you haven't slept in that long, you just can't function. And then, yeah, you start thinking of all the things you were running away from, or emotions. And then, yeah, I just couldn't make sense of general things that are simple.
Yep.
Like, I'd think into them too much, and
Your everyday
yeah,
things that you were doing.
Yeah.
Was your family around, or your friends, or your, you know, what were
Well,
they saying? Like,
a lot of them didn't know. Like, the friends I grew up with that were just trying pills and that, they were just doing that on the weekend.
Yeah.
And then when I started dealing with that, I kind of walked away from them.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that they shut me out or anything, it was more my destructive pattern of thinking, you know, this is what I want to do. Like, I walked away from them. So they were there for me, but I wasn't open to it. And then when I was a pretty big burden on a lot of people. Like,
how?
I'd get, like, just questioning everyday things that, like, I'm never going to be able to get answers from. Like, things, yeah, I can't really give an example. Like, it'd be everyday things, like, on the radio when they say numbers, they'll say 04 and then the number instead of 04.
Yeah.
And I'll just question that, and
Yeah.
just question a lot of things I'm not going to get answers for.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So you got into an entrapment in your mind.
Yeah, perception was very
Yeah.
distorted, of a lot of negativity, of, or presuming that everything's going to go bad
Yes.
when there's no evidence
Wow.
that it wasn't.
So did you go through depression in that time as well?
Yeah, especially like, because yeah, if I didn't have a lot of drugs that day, I'd just sleep all day. And then when I would try and get clean, like, I couldn't stay awake trying to drive around the corner, or it'd be just heavy depression in that sense. And then even when I did come clean, like, yeah, before going into rehab, I was in the hospital for like 14 weeks, and
Wow.
yeah, so it was a lot of
Wow.
resting, and then it still took 8 months, like,
Yeah.
to really push up to get out of bed and, yeah,
It does.
go be active and try and get the endorphins, but, yeah.
So you did this for 7 years, and you pushed away your family, your friends, and you isolated yourself. I just want to, highlight that, because a lot of people think that ice is a party drug. I remember when I came out with my story, and they're like, "Oh, have you got pictures of when, the magazines and stuff were asking, have you got pictures of when you were partying?" And I'm like, it's not really like that,
No.
and people don't really understand that, you isolate yourself from society, from humanity. It's like you go into another realm, and it's like everything else disappeared except that room where you are present and just surviving, really, for the next hit. And it's not like you go around taking photos with your friends and having a great time. As Ori is explaining, you're in your own head, and you are delusional, and your thought process is warped.
Yeah, very.
So what kind of things would you, what kind of things would go on in your mind? Like, can we go in there a little bit so people can understand, like the perception? I get that, the numbers and what does that mean, and did you get any psychosis?
Yeah. Yeah, pretty bad psychosis, like, just couldn't be around anything audio or visual, like TVs, radios.
Why?
I'd automatically think that they're talking about me, or just pointing out keywords and make my own kind of fantasy, or whatever I'm thinking at the time, I'd make it suit that.
Yep.
Like, it's like I'd only hear keywords, and then just add all my own other words and convince myself that that's happening.
And was it always, it wasn't anything good that they were saying, it would have been always something bad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty intense, yeah. Always felt like, you know, game was getting played or something on me.
Yep.
Or set up or...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that would spark up anxiety and, I would imagine, and maybe, you know, a bit of anger.
Yeah.
You know, thinking,
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely anxiety and that. Yeah. Frustration. Yeah, and anger, especially like the ones that were close to me.
Yeah.
Like, because they would get a lot of the questions, and I obviously wasn't always happy with what they'll say because I was pretty convinced of what was happening was real.
Yep.
So yeah, I can imagine it was very scary for them, especially some of the things that I was saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how long did you recognise that, you know, that this was going on? Did you recognise that, is there something wrong with me, or did you at any time question whether this was, you know, a side effect of the drug, or did you?
At first, no, I thought there was something going on, so I did go to the doctors, and then they kind of, like, yeah, because I never got told that, like, ice gives you psychosis and that. Like, I didn't have much education, like, on it.
Yeah.
So yeah, went to the doctors and explained what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Then they asked a bit about family history. So then I was on medication. I later did tell them that I was using ice.
Yeah.
They did tell me it was that. But I always knew what I was thinking wasn't right.
Yeah.
But I couldn't help think that it was.
Yeah.
So I would counter myself and say this is silly, but then 2 minutes later I'm gathering information from somewhere else and linking it up to what I was thinking before. So
Yeah.
I couldn't. Yeah, my perception on everything was just very strong in a negative way. Yeah.
And that's a scary place to live, isn't it?
Yeah.
What were some of the most prominent things that you remember that, you know, if we can go there, that, you know, you would have felt maybe afraid, or that could have been of danger to you? Because when you're in that mindset, your reality is warped. So, you know, you can put yourself in dangerous situations and or even hurt people that you love.
Yeah.
Because your mind's not really present, and it's confusing, and it's telling you stuff, and it's so strong that you know, you can't fight that.
Yeah.
Almost can't fight it, you know.
Yeah. And in that concept, like, because I wasn't close to too many people for that reason, like, 'cause I knew deep down what I'm thinking silly, but I couldn't, like I said, couldn't help it.
Yeah.
To get dangerous with, like, when I did have relationships, not for the female, but for her friends, I guess, especially male ones.
Yeah.
Like, I was very paranoid of, like, just linking things together, thinking something was going on.
Yeah.
And then, like, yeah, whenever I'd hear audio or something, just linking everything to she's cheating on me or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd go into, like, detective, trying to find things that aren't there.
Yeah.
And yeah, in that way, yeah, it got dangerous because that's where I would, like, leave the bedroom and that, and try and, yeah, find what's not there.
Yeah. So you mentioned, like, you spent some time in hospital, 14 weeks, did you say, or 8 weeks?
The last time it was, like, what was it? It was 4 weeks in Logan and then 11 weeks in Robina Private Hospital.
So you went into hospital a few times with mental health issues?
Yeah. So I think I've been in 3 times or 4. The last time was the longest. Yeah.
So let's go back to when, like, how did you get into the hospital? What happened?
The first time was up in Mackay. Yeah, that was... So I was working, and this is when, like, my partner knew about my addiction, but my family didn't so much.
Yeah.
And I had a few contracts and that with work and real estate and...
Happened before? Somebody needs to hear this.
There it is.
Yeah, I had a few contracts on that with work and real estate.
We're back?
So how far back do you want me to?
Oh, we're back. Awesome. Sorry, guys, we just had some sort of technical problems. We're back. So that's probably going to split the video, right? The clip? No? Okay, awesome.
Oh, it keeps going.
Great.
Oh.
So let's see if we can take off where we were. So you had some contracts and
Yeah.
you were working and you were analysing all the business cards and stuff, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, yeah, obviously, like, yeah, got unhealthy, like my brother realised. So, like, ended up going to the mental health clinic in Mackay.
So did your brother suggest that you go?
Yeah, because I was living with him at the time.
Yep.
So, like,
Good on your brother, if you're
Yeah.
watching. Well done.
yeah, at that stage I was in addiction for a while, so, like, yeah, a few things weren't making sense.
Yeah.
Like, the family picked up on it, but don't know. They might have known, but, yeah, I didn't get confronted as yet.
They probably didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
You know, and that's that we find a lot of families out there don't actually know what to do, and that's why we've put together Optimal Health Group have put together some training on our website, and it's called SAMI Brief, so Substance Abuse and Mental Health Intervention, and it teaches family members and people who are helping somebody through that period of addiction how to see the cycle of addiction and recognize the stages of change and recognize where the contemplation stage is and when they're contemplating change and how to have that conversation and do the a cost versus the benefits of using and a cost versus the benefits of coming clean. And once you can have that conversation and have an action plan attached to that, it's usually the person that you're speaking to, if you get it the right timing and you do the plan ahead and have the contact numbers, you can usually help somebody walk into a place of early recovery. So step into recovery. So
good.
that's I just wanted to bring that up because if you're a family member and you don't know what to do and you have a loved one that's in the addiction cycle and you want some help, we're here to help. So our phone number is 1-800 no to ICE. I had to think for a minute. So that's 1-800-NOTOICE. Or you can go on our webpage www.australianantiicecampaign.org.au and click on SAMI Brief link, and that will take you towards the training. So you'll be able to do that to understand that what your brother did, would have changed your life. Because somebody can get entrapped and people can even kill themselves in this state of mental health when the psychosis and the paranoia is there and the delusion takes place. A lot of people in that place can commit suicide because they can't get out of that entrapment. So it's really important to have those skills to know how to help somebody. So good on your brother. So you walked into the first detox, or was it a detox, or was it?
It was just mental health clinic, so
Yep.
it wasn't a detox.
Yep.
They just kind of asked me, am I willing to stop, and I said all the right things and that.
Yep.
And then started the medication. What was it? So the one that affected me the most was the Invega Sustina. It kind of made me slow down a lot.
Is that the needle one?
Yeah. So, at the time, I was still using BART, so, of course, me mind was trying to counteract that with trying to overthink, so then, with the medication slowing me down, it was just getting worse with, me clarity around everyday things got a lot worse, because I couldn't make my own decision, and I was a lot slower. So I was on that medication for a while. I put on a fair bit of weight.
How long were you doing? Do they give you a needle every day, or is it?
Nah, so it depends on the dose. That one was every fortnight.
Yeah.
So the way it kind of works is it releases through your muscle into your blood system, like a certain milligram every day.
Yeah.
The idea of that is if you're not taking your tablets every day or you forget, they don't really work. So the needle is good if you're, you're not willing to take the tablet or you forget and stuff.
So, Ori, did you find that helped? That needle?
No, I don't. At the time, I don't think so. No, but yeah, I was still using. You're not meant to use. On
Yeah,
it. Yeah,
that's right. So, what happened after that?
So after that, I kept on doing the same things for a while. So that was, I don't know, probably 8 months went down the track, and then, what happened then?
Did you continue having the injections?
Yeah, I was
Oh, 8
continued
months?
going to the
Yeah.
doctors and that.
Yeah.
But yeah, wasn't really. I didn't like what I was doing, but I didn't really have a hope for the future to change.
Yep.
And yeah, didn't have too much positive going on, I guess.
Did you have any help in relation to? I know they were helping you with medication and stuff, but did you have any help to kind of sit down and look at, like maybe creating a future and looking at the underlying issues of why you were using and how, and to let you know how special and important you were in the big picture of things in life?
Not at initially, no. Nah, I'll just get kind of asked questions and then medication would change.
Yeah.
I didn't even know about a psychologist until Robina Hospital, really.
Yeah.
I knew about psychiatrists, but not any techniques or anything, or there's a lot of medication.
Yep. Which didn't seem to help, but doped you up, made you a bit more confused. So then you moved from Mackay to Gold Coast?
Nah, I eventually rang up Mum and said, I'm really not handling this. I'm pretty over it.
Yeah.
She come up to Mackay and then she stayed there for a while and then seemed to get a little bit better. I lived there for a little bit longer and then ended up going to back to Victoria, living with Mum.
Yeah.
Going to the doctor then, and we were looking at rehabs, but we got told you got to be on the system down there for 2 years, and unless you got 60 grand or something, then we kind of got laughed at by the doctor when we mentioned rehab. And he just said, just keep using until you get to rehab, I guess.
Oh my goodness.
Um,
Okay.
yeah.
That doesn't help much, does it?
Nah, but I do understand because
There's no
when
resources.
when I would want to stop, that's when I'd get a lot more erratic.
Yep.
Because I'd have emotions coming back and so I understand he wasn't promoting it, but
So you were in Victoria and you were wanting to go to rehab, but you couldn't get in anywhere. You didn't know where to go.
we didn't know where to start because we went to I forget what they're called down there. They're similar to Crest, but Victoria. Yeah, we went there and did an assessment on that.
Yep.
So I eventually got into a day hab thing.
Yep.
I think it's an 8-week program.
Yep.
And I stayed clean there for a little bit, but then, once again, I fell back because I didn't have much hope or, I was living at Mum's and didn't have much friends really, so out of that day I didn't have too much positives.
Yeah.
And like I said, the depression was pretty bad. Couldn't get enjoyment out of anything that I previously did in my life.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's because when somebody's in early stages or using ice and early stages of recovery, and I'm talking up to a year, what happens inside the brain is that the transporters and receptors of the chemical dopamine, those transporters and receptors actually break down and they get blocked and they stop producing dopamine. So that repair time frame for those receptors and transporters and the dopamine to start working normal again can take anywhere from 12 to 18 months in somebody in recovery. So in the initial stages, and I remember that feeling, was that you couldn't feel anything. It was just the depression. Nothing that you did would bring you joy or happiness, or and it's really hard to move forward and find a reason to stay in recovery when you're feeling that. and the confusion, the anxiety and depression, kicks in, and it's just easier to mask that again, and pick up again until you get past a certain time frame and things start to stabilize. Now, we teach through Optimal Health Group teach through dual diagnosis training about things that you can put into your body to help the brain actually recover quicker. So I encourage you to check out dual diagnosis training. It's available online now as well, but we talk about krill oil, double strength krill oil, helping repair the brain, and putting into your body vital greens that helps as well with the chemical balance of the brain, and getting plenty of sun, sleeping, and grounding yourself with shoes on grass and on the sand, and really doing some of those natural God-given things that eventually the brain starts to produce. Exercise is a big one as well. To get into the gym, start some exercise and get your body moving as well. So there's a lot of things that you can do to actually help speed up the recovery process of your brain in that time, because it is a really difficult time. People think, okay, you're not using it anymore, she's been clean for 3 months, get back to work and everything's going to be all right. Well, it's not quite like that, is it, Ori?
Nah.
Yeah.
I found, like you said, I could stay clean for 2 weeks. Like, that wasn't the hard part for me. It was after 2 weeks I'd always seem to don't know if it's depression or I don't know, but 2 weeks was always hard for me.
And as the circumstances of your surroundings as well, did that seem to make a difference to you? Because you moved to Mackay, you moved to Victoria and stuff. Was it your friends? Because there were different friends in those areas, hey?
Yeah. Community is a big thing with it. If you're hanging around with people that are using as well. Not that they're bad people or anything, but they're in the same trap, I guess.
Yeah.
And like one fall, you both kind of fall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you kind of tended to, did you gravitate to people that were using, or is it the fact that there's just a lot of young people using?
Yeah. So I had me few close mates that used, but I didn't hang around too many people because I was too confused. I wasn't safe. I was always questioning what they're on about and stuff.
So you knew that you weren't safe?
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah,
and so you chose to isolate?
Put a lot of pressure on me, and because I don't like to think bad of people, but that's with the negative mindset, I automatically would, and then they would get the vibes of negativity, and it just wasn't safe.
This was dangerous,
Yeah, and if I was high, once it took me a lot to lose my temper, but once I did, it's kind of one way. It made me mind up, and it wasn't much calming me down till I leave the situation.
And that's due to the serotonin in the brain being depleted. So impulse action, anger, violence, spurs up, and it's uncontrollable. So together with the psychosis, paranoia, anxiety, depression, all of that together is like a time bomb waiting to happen. And it's a very delicate situation. So you went to Victoria, and then what happened?
Yep. So I reached out to my mum, and stepdad, and they were great. I lived with them. So we're going to the doctors, and they were trying to find other ways of help. Because I obviously couldn't help myself. So I stayed there. I think it was 3 months, 3 or 4 months with
the
mum.
hospital? Oh,
No, with mum.
Okay.
But I was still using. She didn't know the whole time, but I'd be using, and then because I'd kind of be functioning, I wasn't healthy, but I was able to work and that, because I'll just isolate. Mum would kind of think things are going okay, and she'd say, "Oh, you're going good. Pretty proud of you." So then I would feel really bad that I'm living a lie. So it would encourage me to stop. Then yeah, when I'd stop a couple of days later, like I wouldn't be able to get out of bed, or like I'd be starting to get emotional, I guess, and
Yep.
aggression would come out, and then because I was acting like that, a bit erratic, Mum would think that I'm using again.
Yep.
So then, yeah, I'd start thinking, well, I'm getting blamed when I'm not using, and then when I am using, kind of get encouraged, like. So yeah, that kept going for a little bit. I ended up telling Mum that, you know, when you're saying I'm going good, I'm actually using it that
Wow.
time, and kind of made more sense to her then.
Yep.
Yeah, so then
That
she
makes
could
a lot
help.
of sense.
Yeah.
It's important. We get a lot of parents, you know, when they call in or you're saying, you know, they're angry and they're going through this. They're actually not using at that time.
Yeah.
When they're using and you think everything seems okay, and we refer to it when we're talking to schools and stuff about just bringing yourself to a balance. You know, when you pick up again. And then, but when you try and stop, everything in your brain's not working properly, so it becomes a massive mess. And that's when the parents see that, you know, and they think, oh, you're using now. So it's really important for families out there to understand what we're saying right now. That is so important, because if you understand the cycle of addiction and what's going on at those times, you'll be able to support your loved one better. Because like you said, you know, when she say, oh, I'm so proud of you, you'd feel guilty for using. So you know, if she could have kept on that and understood that when you're going through that, how to help you and how to love you through that, it could have made all the difference, you know. And you're just really getting the tools to be able to help. So that's really important that you shared that. Thank you.
Yeah, so once you knew that side of it, like, it was a lot different, because your mum's been great, like. But yeah, it come to a stage where, like, I couldn't help myself, and, like, obviously, services being that stretched and that with the ice epidemic, I had to leave home, because obviously wasn't healthy. It's a bit of tough love, and that made me, I was kind of thinking, you know, like, I could stay down in the community, I know down there, like, where people are stuck in addiction, but always wanted to live on the Gold Coast, and had the idea of packing my car and driving up here.
So did Mum use tough love and say, if you're going to keep using, you can't stay here? Is that what happened?
Kind of like that, but, like, she just felt helpless of how she could help me.
Yep.
Like, she tried, you know, the nurturing, and then, you know, going to services and that, and reaching out to what is there. Yeah, just was putting a big toll on her, emotionally, and that, just to see that, you know, I just keep using while living there, and I wasn't going forward, so it
was the best thing she could have done for you, because you've got to let go. It's tough. It's your kid. You love them. You know, it's your husband. It's your daughter. It's, you know, it's your wife. You love them, but until you let go and let God, they have to sort themselves out alone. They, you know, and it's not until that you're cornered, and I know this from personal experience, until you're cornered with no other options, that you go, okay, well, things have to change, and that's when you're in a space where somebody can help you. Because until you go, I want out, I can't do this anymore, I'm cornered, and the capacity is still there for you to continue, you will, because you don't want to get off and go into that space of depression and going through all that trauma, you know. It's human being nature, we don't want to hurt, you know.
Yeah, that's definitely right. So then, I, like, sometimes I'd get, like, angry with her, like, you know, you can't do this to me, but deep down I knew that, you know, I know she's not doing it she's doing it for the best interest of me.
Yeah.
Like, and for herself, like her health, of, like, because tried everything, and I just got, like you said, I made it easy for myself to live the way I knew.
Yep.
And not change.
Yep.
So by doing that, like, it did make me think, you know, I can just go stay at a mate's and keep doing the same thing, but actually did think, like, you know, maybe now's the time to go somewhere where I always wanted to go.
Yep.
I didn't really know anyone, and like of course, at the time it was easier said than done, like because I was still doing what I was doing.
Yeah.
So got in my car, drove up here. And I had a big Rottweiler at the time, so my plan was just to get straight into work and kind of get enough money, find somewhere to live, and keep living in an addiction, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, that didn't happen. I kind of blew all my money and just hovered around Gold Coast for about a month, and
Where were you living? Like, if you didn't know anybody, what happened? Like,
I was living in my car.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
with your dog?
yeah, with my dog. Yeah. So I had trouble finding work because I didn't want to leave my dog anywhere.
Yep.
Then once again, I had trouble finding accommodation because I did have a big 60-kilo Rottweiler.
Wow. Okay.
And
Have you still got him?
nah, when I went into the hospital, then rehab, me and Mum found him a nice farm with another Rottweiler.
Good.
Yeah,
Good,
so that
yeah.
kind of had to happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, he went to a good home,
Good.
and yeah, he was
You
great.
needed to do that.
Yeah.
Because you can't take a dog into hospital.
Nah.
So what happened? So you moved around here and you were on the streets and stuff
Yeah.
were you homeless and
Yeah, living in the car, so homeless.
Yeah.
Yeah. But actually, before coming up here, I did go to a church service with my cousin and brother.
Yeah.
Because church had helped me brother with some situations, and yeah, when I did drive up here, I could say it's a psychotic episode with the radio.
Yep.
But then, like, yeah, a song come up on the station that they played at that church, and that made me think, you know, maybe there is something else out there, like it has helped me brother. And I did go to the next church I could find, which was Hillsong Surfers Paradise.
Awesome.
And yeah, when I heard that song, it made me remember the church sermon message back
That's
in Melbourne.
beautiful.
Don't
Yeah.
remember much else, but yeah, that was check yourself before you wreck yourself. And that really stood out, like,
Wow.
you know, life doesn't have to be like this. Like, I'm doing a lot of this to myself, like making it a lot harder.
Yeah.
So then, yeah, went to church, and there I did find somewhere to live. And yeah, I was connected in like a group and that.
Mhm.
And then I did get clean by hanging around with good people and that.
Yep.
So yeah, I was clean for about 8 months. So yeah, I was living a pretty good life. I wouldn't say it was very functional. Like, I wasn't using, but still had like depression, and like I was doing a bit of gambling. Like, I was kind of still wasting like finances and not building towards the future. Just
Yeah.
living for the day, kind of.
Yeah.
So yeah, 8 months clean, and then what happened then? The place I was living, another young fella, he come in, and yeah, he was using. At first, I would only drink with him, but my intentions were to help him. But obviously, like, I wasn't ready myself, and
Yeah.
by helping him, like, I fell, and then by trying to help him, I wasn't ready, and then I fell back into addiction and kind of made everything else worse. And then
Other substances, like, and hear this again and again, right? And I know I relapsed too, so it happened to me. You think, oh yeah, I'm alright now, and I'm 6 months clean, or I'm 8 months clean, and I can get on the piss. I'm gonna have a few drinks with my mates, and it's all good, and it's a doorway. It's a doorway just waiting for you to fall down those stairs, and it'll be there at one point or another. It'll be there. It'll be offered to you, and you will go that way. You will fall. It's luring. It's it's like the chocolate in life that you can never touch again because it's going to kill you. But having other substances like alcohol and stuff, it really opens the door to that.
Yeah.
And people don't realise. No, I'm good now. I've been clean, and I'm out in the town, partying up with my friends, and then before you know it, they've relapsed.
Yeah.
It's such a dangerous thing, and I find that the people that stay in long-term recovery, abstinence from they don't go there. I don't want to go there. I don't need to go there, and I don't want to put at risk my recovery, my life that
definitely.
I have been given to live. You've been given and gifted an opportunity to have an amazing life. And to have joy and family and kids and work, and like, I'm gonna throw that all in the bin, for 1 second. That's not gonna really last. It's deception at its greatest.
Yeah, totally. So yeah, like you said, it started drinking with him, and then fell back, but within, I tried it once, and I felt like depression for a few days, but then I went back to normal, I guess.
Yep.
And then so I thought, I opened that door. I thought, I could do it once a month or whatever.
Yep.
Then I tried it again, and then bang, it was 7 days later I was still feeling bad. So then it become every day again, and within a month I was back to where I was 9 months ago.
Yep.
As if I hadn't had a break from it.
Yep.
So once, I guess, for me, I felt like I'd done that damage all those years by doing it that short period of time. It all just went straight back to.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And I can vouch for that. Same thing happened to me. 6 months clean. Things were going great, and very quickly, in 1 second, you fall back into it. And it was like, the next 4 months was like where I just left off last time, with interest.
Yeah.
It was all that much worse, because you have a lot more, and you knew how to roll with it. So it was worse, and that's where the real damage in those 4 months came in for me. You do double the amount of damage, to yourself. It's almost like binge drinking, eh?
Yeah.
So what happened then? How did you get out of that?
Well, it definitely got messy that second time. So I fell really quick and was broken. Ended up ringing Mum again and said, we talked a couple of times about rehab. I said, no, I'm not coping again. I'm ready for help. She kind of said, when you really do want help, just call out. Yeah, good old Mumsy. She already had a plan. She
was ready for it.
Yeah, she had private health insurance for me,
Mm-hmm.
and it was, when I asked for help, it was just 2 weeks off the period where you can get the private hospital.
Yep.
So she said, all right, well, we'll pack your stuff, and she'd come up the next couple of days.
Awesome.
Yeah, then we went to the hospital,
Mm.
and then there for a couple of weeks, and I was talking to the social worker and that, and looking into rehabs.
Yep.
Whereas in Victoria, had rehab of the idea, but I was expecting it would just pop up out of nowhere for me.
Yeah.
Whereas we just stopped at the doctor.
Yep.
Probably could have found places but I never really knew what a rehab was back then. Yeah.
And that's where we help too, guys. We have a care team here that can connect you to services. So if you're somebody that's in addiction, or you're walking your loved one into recovery, our care team here have all these resources about where we can connect you with your local detox and rehab in your area, and that so you can have the tools ready for when your loved one is ready to make that move. And you know what it's like. You've been there. You know what the program's about. You know what's gonna happen. So you can explain to your loved one, hey, I know the people there, I've met them, I've seen it, it's, John there is waiting for you, and, it's like a community, and I'll get you to share just a little bit about what you found once you stepped into rehab in a minute.
Yeah.
But, taking the stigma out of, I thought rehab was prison. I was so scared. I was, no way, I'm not going there. They said I can't have my phone, and I was just, I'm not going to prison,
Yeah.
But, thank God for your mum, because, a lot of people lose contact, or their family don't understand, and they move away, and a lot of people don't have anybody that can stand with them and walk into. So you're very, very blessed to have had that.
Definitely.
But for those out there, if I'm talking to you right now, and you are that person that you've pushed your family away, your friends away, and you are in that cycle of addiction and you want help to step into recovery, you've had enough, that's what we do here. We're here to help you. You know, we'll appoint a buddy for you in your area that can help walk you into recovery, into the services, connect you to the services in your area, and support you, and you know, give you a bit of love, and you know, say, hey, I believe in you. You know, we can do this. I've done it. You know, so that's what we're about. So if I'm talking to you, I want you to connect with us. And we will be able to connect you with somebody in your area to help. So our number here is 1-800 No to ICE, 1-800 NOTOICE, or you can send us a private message on Facebook now, or you know, whenever you choose. We're always there, available to chat, to have a chat with you. So that is so important. You're really blessed to have your mum to walk you through those early stages, because finding the resources and having that support there.
Yeah.
So you went into hospital, and how long did you spend in there?
So yeah, I was in Logan from like 3 to 4 weeks, and then Robina 11 weeks.
Wow.
Robina private.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. In the mental health unit.
Yeah.
Yep. So you would have done. They would have done some psychological assessments. And, and kind of. Did you have a counsellor? How was that like?
Yeah, Logan. Like, I seen the psychiatrist and that, but yeah, I was kind of just there until we'd go to Robina.
Yep.
So at Robina, you'd have like groups during the day.
Is that at Coeur d'Alene?
Sorry.
Is that at Coeur d'Alene? Mental health unit called Coeur d'Alene?
I'm not sure what it's. It's the Robina private hospital. It's.
Yeah.
I think it's just for seniors and mental health. So it's only kind of small.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was pretty good. Like, learned a fair bit there.
Awesome.
So you get your social worker there, and yeah, you can talk to a counsellor if you want.
Yep.
But yeah, I found it difficult because I get a lot of questions asked why, and I didn't know why.
Yep.
To a lot of how I was feeling, or yeah.
Yep.
And I couldn't express myself, I guess.
Yep.
So yeah, kind of go in circles.
Yeah.
But yeah, the groups were really good because I got to hear other people talking how they've dealt with things, and then reading the manuals and that. So that was good. And then, yeah, from there I went into Victory House.
Awesome.
Rehab. Yeah.
Love those guys, Victory House, you rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do an amazing job in there, and you know, their lived experience as well.
Yeah.
You know, they come from a place like us, you know, walk through it, you come out, and then you've got a heart to help other people, so they do an incredible job.
Yeah.
You know, just really mentoring, standing beside people that really want recovery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's a team, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So how did you find it in there?
Um,
How'd you find the program? Like, is it hard? Is it it's not really like a prison.
Nah, I haven't been to prison, so
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a hard program, but when I say hard, sometimes it's just as hard as you want to make it yourself.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is a very structured program, which worked for me, because, you know, just hovered doing my own kind of thing. It's definitely one that, yeah, if you don't want to change, then you'll sooner want to leave, or you will change.
Yep.
Yeah, with the consequential thinking and a few tools you learn there, and
Yep.
the concept of the program. So yeah, I definitely wanted one that wasn't easy, like, because of, yeah.
You've tried before, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wanted one that was kind of like, you know, fair enough, that's bad what's happened and stuff, but it's time to just change, and this is the way.
Yep.
Yeah. So kind of hand up, I guess.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So you finished your program now?
Yeah, so I finished in February.
Well done.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So that's a 12-month program.
And now you're working, giving back in there?
Yeah, so yeah, I help out where I can. So
Awesome.
at the moment I'm supervising while the other supervisor's away seeing his family.
Awesome.
So yeah, it's great. Like, yeah,
Well done.
I love the guys in there. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like you said, like, just because you're in addiction or anything, it doesn't really determine like who you are or the way you are acting in the moment. Like, yeah, there's consequences for how we act, but like, it doesn't mean that you know, that's truly who you are. Yeah.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
a really good point, and that's what we say to parents out there, or is you know, they say, I don't know where my son's gone. I don't know, you know, where my loved one's gone. They're still in there. You know,
Yeah.
they're still in there. Like, oh, he's come back. I've come back. They're still in there. They're just masked with ice world, as we call it, and you know, you can't find them in there, but they are in there. And it's a
Yeah.
matter of taking all those layers off, you know, and allowing their beautiful soul to shine again. So congratulations on your recovery, and
Yeah.
now you're plastering.
Yeah, so I've done
and doing a bit of
plastering
work now.
for 10 years,
Yeah.
but a lot of it, especially in adulthood, have been in addiction. So, but I can actually say I'm enjoying it again.
Good.
Yeah.
Well done.
And yeah, it's actually satisfying to go to work and, you know, come home and be able to sit by myself and not have to always be doing something.
Yeah.
Whereas when at the times when I had been clean, like I'd have to be structured, like couldn't sit by myself because I just get depressed.
Yeah.
But now I can happily just chill out and read a book or not have to be always be doing something or with people. Like being with people's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, alone time's good too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And how do you find? How's your mental health now?
That's great. So I've been off all my medication for about 7 months now.
Woohoo.
And that's with doctor's approval.
Awesome.
So,
Good
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's real, got a lot of clarity, so I can think straight, and yeah, that was a bit of a journey in itself, like coming off the medication.
Yeah.
Bit of a roller coaster, but yeah.
But it's
That's good.
doable. You
Yeah.
you did it.
Yeah.
You know, and with support and help, and others can too. You
Yeah.
know, so for those that think that, oh no, I can't do that, I can't get off the meds, or you know, I can't go to rehab, or I'm going to be like this forever. That's not true. That's something that you're telling yourself.
Yeah.
If you really want a life worth living, it's there for you.
Yeah.
You just have to take the steps. And the first step to do is, you know, send us a message. You know, we'll start conversation, and you know, we'll do what we can. But you've got to meet us, and we'll help you connect to the services that can help you do
Yeah.
detox and rehab and so forth.
Yeah.
But we find, you know, if people are trying to do it alone and they you know, if they haven't got a tripod system of support around them, if they haven't got the support
Yeah.
network, you're most probably going to fall over.
Yeah.
It's like, you know,
Definitely.
when your knees are wonky, if you haven't got a frame or, you know, some sort of support, crutches, you're going to fall.
Yeah.
So it's until you heal that knee, you need a frame. You know, and we put people on a tripod framework.
Yeah.
So one of those things is a drug and alcohol counsellor. So if you're outside and haven't managed to get into rehab, or you know you're not ready to go, but you know you want to try and do it on your own, it's extremely difficult with ice because of all the you know, the meds and stuff that you probably do need initially. But the tripod system of support is your counsellor, okay, your drug and alcohol counsellor, your buddy that walks with you and supports you and encourages you from a place of love and experience themselves, and group therapy. Yeah, group sessions, whether it's AA, NA, you know, your mental health group or church, you know, just a place where you can be loved unconditionally, and you can share and hear other people. Like Ori's just sharing about how important that was for him. He could hear other people talking, and he, you know, then was able to, you know, internally, you know, assess himself as well. So that's
Yeah.
really, really important. And share as well. Once, you know, sometimes you don't know what you share can make a difference in somebody's life forever. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, that's good. Like I found with, like, especially with the groups and that, or having somebody you can open up to that does know ya. Like I was putting a lot of lies on myself that I'm this and that, but then, yeah, that was just what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Like through groups and that, like I find out that people don't think that of me, or
Yeah.
that's not what I'm thinking isn't correct.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you get a proper perspective that
Yeah.
you're an awesome dude. What's wrong
Yeah.
with you? Why are you
True.
thinking that? You know, it's
Yeah.
like if we tell ourselves, we can be our worst enemies and tell ourselves in our mind the worst things as
Yeah.
well. So I'm so glad that you're better. You
Yeah.
know, and it is a journey. and now you're giving back to others who are starting their journey.
Yeah.
And, you know, we hope that, you know, you can join our buddy system
Yep.
as well, and you know, because there's so much out there that, you know, from our experience that we can give back to people that are just starting or haven't quite reached out yet. But if they know that, you know, you're part, and they've heard your story, and they know that you're part of the team, they're, I want to be buddied with that guy because I'm going through that. That's me,
Yeah.
you know. And it's important to understand, guys, what happens inside the brain through ice addiction, where the neurological pathways are broken down, where the frontal lobe is hijacked, and you know, logic, rational decision, it's non-operational in the brain of somebody addicted to ice. And you know, they're operating on the midbrain, called the animal brain. If you see these shows, I always share about that, because, you know, it's important to understand that the person that is using, they're not thinking and making logical decisions, rational decisions. So if you are supporting somebody, you can be their brain for a minute. Yeah, show them, you know, this is the way, this is what's going on, and from a place of love. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, is there any last minute words, because we do have to wrap up,
Yep.
that you want to share that you think
Yep.
you haven't touched yet?
So yeah, I'd just like to say, like, yeah, with the early stage, like the first couple of months of being clean, like good thoughts did start to come. So
Wow, that's
like
good.
it does get better, but like you said, it took about a year, and now it's only like a bad thought. I don't know, probably once a week, and that's like 10 seconds. I can quickly
It's awesome.
counteract it. So the good thoughts do get more and more
Yeah.
as it gets longer into recovery.
That's
Yeah.
encouraging, guys. You know, it might take a little while, but, you know, hold on, because it does start to get better, and it's worth it.
Yeah.
You know, it's worth it. You're worth it, you
Yeah.
know, and you're worth it. And life does, you start to enjoy things again, and people and moments, and you actually enjoy moments and people more,
Yeah.
you know, after in recovery, I think, because you've been isolated from that for so long.
Yeah.
Um,
And yeah, just one more thing, like, statistics are facts, but like, they're gone off the past. So like, you don't have to give in to say it's impossible or something. Like, if I can do it, like, I think everyone would be able to.
that's awesome.
Because yeah, I was put down as, you know, no hope
Wow.
of life really.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, like
That's awesome.
statistics are facts, but like, they can't determine the future. They can change, so there is hope.
You know what, Ori, I think that God can do anything.
Yeah.
You know, and I know that He's touched your life.
Yeah.
And you know, most people in recovery, you know, God touches them and says, "Hey, you're worth it. You know, I love you, and you're worth it." And you don't recognise that, but you are worth it. And you know, we want to help you guys.
Yeah.
So if you're a family member that has a loved one in addiction, you want help, we're here to do that. We have peer support families, and we also have people who have walked that journey, and we're here to help, to lend a hand. So yeah, if you want to give us a call, feel free, or send us a message. Leanne, do we have any questions?
No, only a mate says, Justin. Do you know Justin Cooper? Says, love you, mate. You've done well.
For you, Justin?
You. Do you know Justin?
Cooper?
Anyway, he gives you that message.
That's a message.
Thanks,
to you.
Justin.
So you'll see that there'll be people ask questions throughout the night, and if there's, if you just hop on to the post, and then if people, guys, if you have any questions about, you know, Ori's journey, and you have a loved one that you're not clear on something, and you want to ask what it was like, what was going on, and please post up your questions, because that's what we're here for. We want to answer those for you, and our care team are standing by always, you know, to help connect the dots as well. So if you had to explain ice addiction to somebody in one word, right down the barrel, what would that word be?
One word? Just hell,
Hell.
I guess.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
if you want to say goodbye to the world as you know it,
Yeah.
the people around you, or any goals, I guess that kind of sums it up. Just don't do it.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have I didn't try. I tried marijuana once before it, but yeah, I tried it once and then pretty hooked straight away.
That's why our message is not even once, and
Yeah.
that's what NEO stands for, guys. You can get your NEO t-shirts in support of the cause, and all the proceeds from our range go to helping do what we do. We're not a funded organisation. We are a charity, a non-for-profit charity, and all the proceeds from our t-shirts and our caps, woohoo! Our caps, guys, and our mugs, of course. And oh, we have more. We got them flying in. It's raining Neo. So
Really?
all the proceeds. Yeah, winter's coming along. You got to keep
Yeah.
your head warm. Ah! your footy beanie. You know, not even once, Neo, guys, and not the mug. Guys, so all our not even once, and that's our message out there. I'm going to teach you. This is our little hand
Oh
for
yeah.
Neo, right? So, guys, here's our little hand logos for Neo. So, if you want to learn them, we're about to teach you now. It was made by a youngster out in central Queensland when we did a workshop,
Yeah.
and it stuck, and that's what Neo stands for. You ready? It goes like this: not
Not.
with this hand.
Oh, this
Yeah,
one.
because your E has to go that way.
Oh,
Not even
Even
once.
once.
Guys, don't touch it. Not even once. It's not worth it. We love
Definitely
you.
not.
Okay. Take care. Have a great night, and thank you, Ori, for joining us on the
Nice.
show.
Thank
Thanks
you.
very much. Good night.
Yeah. No, thank you. Yeah. Yeah. No worries.